Okay, this is going to be looking at the Edexcel June 2014 FP1 paper. It's going to be looking at question 3b. Now, question 3 says that given that 2 and 1 minus 5i are roots of this equation here, it's a cubic equation, then in part A we found the third root of the equation. We found that the third root, nice easy mark if you know what you're doing, the third root is just the conjugate of this 1 minus 5i, so it's going to be 1 plus 5i. So here are your three roots of the equation. So here's what we know. If you're unsure about that, then go back and see my video on part A. I went into it in quite some detail, so hopefully it made a bit of sense. Okay, so in part B, it's asked us to find the value of P and the value of Q. So effectively, what we've got is we've got our three roots. Okay, now if you remember, a root is a factor. Well, a root, so you've got x minus alpha times x minus beta and x minus gamma. These are factors, so we multiply these two things together and we should get our original equation. So they're equal to 0. Multiply these things together and we should get our original equation back. Okay, and the alpha, beta and gamma, they're our roots, and this is what we've got here. So let's just replace alpha by 2, beta by 1 minus 5i, and gamma by 1 plus 5i in here. And when we multiply these things out, then we should get our original equation back. Okay, so that's all I've done there. So what we're having to do is actually work backwards. So we should multiply this thing out, these three brackets out, and we should get it back in this form. And then we should just be able to equate this right-hand side to the left-hand side to find out what P and Q is. We should be able to equate that directly. So it's up to you how you want to expand this. Now, if it was up to me, I would look at these last two brackets first. You could do x minus 2 multiplied by this second bracket, or this first bracket multiplied by the third bracket. I'm going to do the second bracket multiplied by the third bracket. I'm going to look at this first to get rid of our complex numbers. That's looking a little bit nasty at the moment. Okay, so looking at these last two brackets, consider these last two brackets multiplied together. And I'm just going to work you through the algebra and show actually what's going on. Okay, so we've got this thing. Got x times x, which is going to be x squared. Now here it's worth writing an extra step. Normally when you're expanding it's just a quadratic you're going to end up with. Normally when you're expanding quadratics you can do it, but it's worth working extra step because you're going to make a mistake if you don't. So we've got minus this thing, minus 1 minus 5i times x. Okay, so actually probably worth writing your happy and sad brackets out. So we've got this thing as well. Okay, and then we've got this thing multiplied by that thing, so have I done that right? It's not the way I normally do it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that is right. And then x, sorry about that, minus 1 plus 5i times x. And then of course we've got the last two things multiplied together, so we've got a negative times a negative, we're going to end up with a positive. And we've got 1 minus 5i, and then 1 plus 5i. Okay, sorry about that confusion in there. I mean, you should be familiar. It's just expanding a quadratic. It's not the way that I normally do it, but it'll work still, nevertheless. Okay, so let's work on tidying this up a little bit. We're still going to have an x squared. Okay, and I'm actually going to take out a factor of x. So I'm going to have a plus. I'm going to have minus 1 minus 5i. Okay, and then minus 1 plus 5i, and I've taken an x out of these two things. Okay, so there's a factor of x here, I've just taken the x out, and then plus, and I'm going to actually expand this thing, so we're going to have 1 times 1, which is going to give you 1, believe it or not. Then you can have minus 5i, but then you can have a plus 5i as well, so these two things are going to cancel. I mean, I know I'm not even going to bother writing that down because I can automatically recognise it just conjugates, so the middle two terms is just going to cancel away, so the I term effectively is just going to cancel away. And just going to end up with minus 5i times positive 5i, so you're going to end up with minus 25i squared. Okay, again, a little bit of tidying up, so we've got x squared plus minus 1, and then minus times negative 5i is going to give you plus 5i. Then you're going to have minus 1 again, and then you're going to have a minus times a positive 5i, so it's going to give you negative 5i times x plus 1 minus 25i squared. Remember that I squared is the same as the square root of negative 1 all squared, because the I is of course just square root of negative 1, so that's going to give you negative 1 because you're square rooting then squaring immediately, so I squared is just going to give you negative 1. So we've got negative 25 multiplied by I squared, just negative 1, so negative 25 times negative 1 it's going to end up with a positive. Okay, and yeah, again, just a little bit of tidying up again, probably going to be our last line. So plus, you're going to have minus times minus 1, negative 1, so you're going to end up with negative 2. Okay, plus 5i, negative 5i, those two things are going to cancel, they're going to equal 0. And it's just going to be all times x. We're going to have negative 2 times x. All this thing inside the brackets here is equal to negative 2. Okay, negative 2x. And you're still going to have a plus 1. Sorry, plus 1 plus 25. That's just going to be plus 26, isn't it? Okay, so there we go. So these last two brackets expanded is going to give you this thing here. Okay, and then we want to multiply that thing by x minus 2. Because if you look, these two last brackets here, giving us x squared minus 2x plus 26. And then we're going to multiply all that thing by x minus 2. Okay, so x squared minus 2x plus 26. Okay, that is going to give us, so just going to multiply x by every single term. So x times x squared is going to give us x cubed. Then x times minus 2x is going to give us minus 2x squared. Then x times plus 26 is going to give us plus 26x. And do exactly the same thing for the negative 2. So we're going to have negative 2x squared. You're going to have negative 2 times negative 2x. So that's going to give us positive 4x. Then negative 2 times positive 26 is going to give us negative 52. A little bit of tidying up now. We tend to write the powers in decreasing order, so highest power first. Let's try and gather the powers together as we go. So x cubed can have minus 2x squared, but then we're going to have another negative 2x squared, so we're going to end up with minus 4x squared. Negative 2 is something, take away another negative 2 is something, take away another 2 of something, you're going to end up with minus 4 of that thing. Okay, so in this case that thing is x squared. Let's do the x's now. So we've got plus 26x, then we've got plus 4x. So we've got 26 of something, plus 4 of something, we've got 30 of that thing altogether, and that something is our x. And in the end we've just got a negative 52. Okay, so now that's the majority of the work done. Because we've expanded this right hand side. This right hand side expanded is equal to this thing. Okay, and that thing is equal to plus 30x horrible 0, I'm sorry. Negative 52 is going to equal to this thing here. So x cubed just get it up, x cubed plus px squared plus 30x plus q. Okay, now we can just equate coefficients. So we've got an x squared, and an x cubed and an x cubed here. Okay, got a minus 4x squared and a plus px squared here. Okay, and we've got plus 30x here. I'll try and keep with my, we'll do a star I think, or a kind of a splat symbol maybe. We've got 30x here, that's fine. And then the negative 52, oh, what should we do? I've run out of shapes. Well, I haven't, there's an infinite number of them, but let's do a rhombus, or a sideways square. And then that's going to be equal to our q. So now we can just equate the two things off. So x cubed minus 4x squared is going to equal, I should write down comparing coefficients. Okay, so the number in front of the x squared. Okay, so we got on the left hand side we've got minus 4, and on the right hand side we've got p. I'll do it for x cubed as well, just so you can see what's going on. So for our x cubed we've got 1, on the left hand side we've got 1. For our x squared on the left hand side we've got minus 4, on the right hand side our coefficient is p. For x, our coefficient is 30 on the left hand side. On the right hand side it's 30, and our constant term, let's just call it c. On the left hand side it's minus 52, on the right hand side it's q. So now we can read off exactly that p is equal to minus 4 and q is equal to minus 52, and that's our final answer. Now, where are the marks? It's always good to see where the marks are coming from. Well, there's one mark for attempting to expand this thing out. Okay, you know, showing that you should try and expand the quadratics. There's one mark for attempting to expand this thing out. And if you get the right answer, you get the other marks. That's 2 marks there. Okay. You then get a third mark for then multiplying this thing which you just got by your x minus 2. So again, just continuing with this expansion of the right hand side. You get 3 marks already just for showing that you can expand the right hand side. Okay, so it's 3 marks, and then your final mark, you get 1 mark for getting P correct. You get another mark for getting Q correct. Nice, easy 5 marks, nothing taxing or demanding there.